So you can see I'm getting a little serious about the video. Got a splash screen starting up now, and got the wireless mic going on, a little bit of lighting. That's all to make everything a little better. So this week I'm going to show you what I did to cut some holes in my back seat where I plan to put some battery boxes using my old Series Craftsman saber saw. And I'll show you where I'm putting some other batteries and then a few other things I'm up to. So let's take a look. Here's a look at what's been going on so far. Made a new battery box. It's only one battery wide. It's just barely going to fit with the DMOC in this position. Connected up the throttle body so that I could control it with the gas pedal inside the car. That's more just for doing testing. That's only a temporary setup there. Have to work on the plumbing next for the cooling, and as you have heard in Jack's video, we found out that DMOC and the motor need to have separate cooling loops because the DMOC times out or heats up too quickly to 40 degrees C and goes into a low current mode. So the other big project going on with battery boxes is working on the two that have to go underneath the rear seat. It's designed to have 24 cells on each side, a 2x12 row, and then that'd be a total of 48 cells. Fortunately, BMW had this as their gas sensor panel and provided this nice little conduit that goes out up to the gas tank into the trunk essentially, and that will make a really nice conduit to bring the battery cables through. But it looks like it just is going to fit. Have to start cutting the metal and see how it goes. Okay, here's the start of cutting out the back seat for the battery boxes. Must be that screw's going to be. Using the saber saw is a lot like using a scalpel. Cuts really nice, but breaks a lot of blades. I had a sawzall that cut a lot better, but was really hard to control. Breaking blades! Bracket for the bolts. Alright, after several saw blades and some other cuts manually, got both the battery boxes cut out. Say 9x20 hole that will hold 24 batteries in each box. And here's what battery box will look like sitting up
the back seat. It will have to sit up an inch and a half in the front and a few, about 4 inches in the back, which means pretty much the cushions in the back seat will have to be removed and just be a plate underneath the leather. Back seat's really not that functional in this car anyways, but that's the only way it can be done, because underneath the box really can't extend much beyond the cross member, so it's not the lowest thing in the bottom of the car, as you can see. Here's another look at one of the battery box mock-ups for the rear seat. See how it sticks up above the plane that was the normal seat. Here's a view of the rear seat. This front part has got about 5 inches, and then these springs can just be all cut out and made room for the top of the battery box. Should fit up just nice and fine, but there just won't be any cushions underneath the two sides where the battery boxes are. Here's a look in the trunk where the third battery box is going to be. This box will hold 54 cells in an arrangement of 3 rows by 18 wide. And you can see it doesn't really take up the whole trunk. There's plenty of room to get other things in the trunk, including a couple sets of golf clubs. Here's a look at the gas tank filler tube, about to be removed. I think the J1772 will fit quite nicely in there. Alright, filler tube came right out. J1772 went right in. Just have to make an adapter plate to have something for the bolts to connect to, but that's going to be a great place for the connector. The last remnants of the ice, all the last pieces of the gas line and hoses in the back of the car are now gone. Okay, here we are under the car again to take a look at the way I mounted up this support bearing for the drive shaft. My friend Tim Calitera emailed me and said it looked like I had mounted it backwards or upside down, and sure enough I did. The bracket should be on the bottom and the bearing should be on the top. So I'll flip that over and see if it makes a difference spinning the engine. Alright, that's a little better. It looks like that's the way that's supposed to be set up. So let's see what happens when spin the rear wheels. Well, now the drive shaft's connected up properly. Let's see what happens when spin the motor up with the wheels attached. Pretty smooth up to 20. A little bit of vibration right there at 25, but now smooth again. Very smooth through here. Yeah. Now it's starting to vibrate a little bit, but just, that's pretty good. No vibration at all. Look at that, all the way up to 100 kilometers an hour. Very smooth. Just a little vibration right there around 20 miles an hour. Interesting. Maybe the car always had that. Could never tell with all the vibration of the engine.
pretty cool at just getting that carrier bearing in the right place, smoothed out the drivetrain. So that just shows everything's going to work really well. The only problem now is still that clunk in the when you first start out, and that's due to the backlash in the rebirth adapter, but that's going to be taken care of shortly. So next time, I'll probably be showing you something about this. This is a reservoir for cooling water, and I guess now if you saw Jack's video last week, I'm going to need two of these, one for the DMOC and one for the Siemens motor, but I'll show you probably how all this is going to get connected up next time. See you then.